Hey guys, Rob here. So today's video, I want to talk just about trail safety. So for today's video, I originally planned to come out and do a video on like backpacking safety, safety for camping and stuff like that. Anything that involves the hiking and staying overnight out here in the woods. This is not a campground or anything. This is out in the actual woods. And I just wanted to go over a couple of things that work for me and some safety tips. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the main part of this video here, which is safety. Being out here in the woods and stuff. What drew me into want to make this video is previously I did a video on like tips and stuff for beginner backpackers, people that want to get into hiking and camping and just being out in the woods. I'm not talking about like campgrounds type stuff necessarily, but to add on to that video, I want to talk about safety and being out here. So recently, there was just a week ago, I don't know if you guys heard, but you guys can look it up. There was a guy camping over in Montana, and apparently he got murdered in his tent, and they thought it was a bear that attacked him at first, but now they're saying it's homicide. You guys can look into that if you want. I'm not going to go over any more details than that, but I decided, you know what, I should put this video out and just to bring awareness to being out here in the woods. When I go hiking, I'm always on the alert. I'm always looking around, checking my surroundings. I'm always looking behind me, checking for stuff. One of the things that I'm really worried about when I come out here, or my main concern I would say, is wildlife and people. Stray dogs, or just people that let their dogs run loose. I've been in areas that have been isolated and I see dog tracks that shouldn't really be there. So it's one of those things that you have to keep in mind is wild animals like that. You know, you could be camping or hanging out and now you have a dog in front of you out of nowhere. Another thing here is, you know, we have the hogs and we have the snakes. Those are big concerns as well here for me. Now where you live, it might be a little bit different, but I'm only speaking on stuff that I've went through or my concerns, and hopefully you can use some of this information and apply it to yourself. I've seen 2 panthers only for a brief second, but that's it. I can't even count how many hogs I've seen, and I can tell you I've seen over hundreds of deer. I have had an encounter with a rattlesnake one time, almost stepped on it on trail. It's a big, like 5-foot diamondback rattlesnake. These things camouflage very well, but that's it for the wildlife, really. I mean, everywhere you walk, you need to watch your step. But the main thing that I really want to emphasize on is like the people situation. The last thing I want to run into is some weird encounter with a person. So when I'm hiking, I don't want anyone following me, so I'm always watching behind me. I'm looking at the ground, I'm looking for footprints. I'm looking at the direction those footprints are going. I'm looking at the condition that those footprints are in. Are they fresh? Are they old? I'm constantly checking, and even when I'm walking, I try not to walk right in the middle of the trail or anything where somebody else can pick up my footprints. I walk off to the sides. I try to step in grass patches. That way I'm untrackable, at least to a point. But yeah, and then when I get to my camp area where I'm going to hang out, you know, I just relax for a while. And most of the time, if you just sit back, relax, and just listen and just take in nature, you start to realize kind of what's in the area, and that will help tune your ears in if you hear anything weird. Because if you're hanging out in an area and you don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden you hear like a branch or something break or get crunched on, that's not normal for this area. You know, there's not a lot of trees around where there's going to be stuff falling. So when you get to an area, take some time and just relax and just listen, observe and listen. Most of the time, all you're going to hear is the animals, like the little insects and stuff, and you might hear some birds chirping and stuff, but just listen and tune your ears in, so that way you'll always, you know, you'll always be more in tune with your surroundings. Other things to think about is when I camp off trail, whether I'm spending the night, whether I'm hanging out in a spot just to make lunch or something. I typically go off trail, off the beaten path. And yes, there's more risk of having an encounter with a snake or something like that, or wildlife, because now you're off trail, but you're off trail and away from other humans. And typically I'll find an area where usually I'll hear something moving through the area, you know, like if there's dead palms on the ground or whatever, or you know, anything. I go way off. That way, especially if it's a person and they're coming to my camp, they're deliberately coming to my camp. There's no accident that you found me, and that will help prepare me to better to handle the situation. I always try to go far off in an area where I can be tucked away and unseen. All right, I always try to keep stealth in mind. And when I set up my tarps and stuff like that, I'm 6'4", 6'5". I always set the tarps up, the ridge line, usually like right at the where my rib cage kind of starts at, like rib cage chest high ish, and that puts that ridge line, you know, about 4 feet off the ground, give or take. So it's very low profile. I always try to keep a low profile with my shelter setups and stuff, because I don't want anyone being able to look out and see me. The key is just invisible. Just be invisible. They sell devices that you can use, perimeter alarms and stuff that you can use, that you can tie off around trees and stuff. Kind of like a bee just flew into the camera. Kind of like a tripwire style design. You can buy stuff like that and set it up. That way if something comes through, you're definitely alerted. I've also, if I'm in a tight area with a lot of trees, you can take braided fishing line, like 50-pound fishing line, and you can tie it to those trees really tight, and you can create something that's like, I don't know, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground. And that way if somebody's trying to come through there, they're gonna trip on that, and they're not gonna break that. And if they do break it, it's gonna make a really loud pop sound. But yeah, you could do that, but just remember, when you leave, take that stuff down with you. Another thing you guys see here on the channel, I mean, we love to get out here. We love to hike and camp, and it's just so enjoyable. And we're kind of doing it off-grid style, you know, so kind of just, there's no real rules to anything. You know, use common sense, but there's no real rules. So that's what makes it so much fun. And you guys see, I never light fires in my videos. And the reason for that is because fire creates smoke, fire creates smell, and those things carry in the wind, and somebody can pick up on that. And I'm gonna keep going back to this, is stealth. So I don't use those jet burners because they're loud, and sound carries in the woods very far. So that's why I use a little alcohol stove, because it creates no smell or anything. There's no smoke and there's no sound. The only smell you might get is from whatever I'm cooking, but that's that, you know. But the smoke definitely will carry off in the wind, and people can pick up on that. So another thing, you know, I get a lot of people that say, oh, I should check out a hammock, or you know, they recommend different hammocks, and they say how comfortable it is, and I'm sure it's really comfortable. But for me, I'm a ground sleeper, always have been, and I think I always will be. But the main reason why I do not use hammocks is, for one, you have to have something to tie them to, and there might not be anything to tie them to wherever you're at. And second of all, I like having the tent idea because it gives a little bit more mystery as to where I am in the tent. All right, so if somebody came up in the middle of the night, they don't really necessarily know where my head is, okay, or where my feet is, or if there's 2 people in the tent with me, it gives some mystery, and that little bit can make a big difference. Plus, being in a tent, I have a little bit more room. I could move quick in that tent, whereas if I'm in a hammock, I'm stuck in there. I'm wrapped up like a freaking, you know, like I'm wrapped up in a cocoon, you know. And you know, I just think of these things, it's the people, man. You don't want to run into people, because sometimes people have bad intentions, and I'd rather give them some sort of element of surprise. So I sleep in a tent. And as far as like safety and stuff goes, you guys already know. Yeah, so look, I carry a pepper spray with me, all right? This is always in my side pocket. And you know, and like I said, stray dogs and stuff like that, people, animals, whatever. I mean, this thing doesn't weigh anything, and it could make a big difference. And then another thing, you know, you guys already know this, but like, you know, here where I am in this state of Florida, it's a great state. I'm legally allowed to, and I have my concealed weapons license. I can carry, so I do carry. I carry a Glock 19 here, and that's always on me. And it's got a weapons light on there that's like 500 or 600 lumens, so that way I have a way of lighting things up at night if I have to. I don't have to worry about grabbing a flashlight and beaming a flashlight. I got the light on the weapon itself. But yeah, so I carry that with me. It's always loaded, it's always ready to go. And when I'm sleeping at night in my tent, I literally almost sleep with it in my hand. It's always right next to me, to where I know where it is at every moment. And in the last video, I actually did pull my firearm out because there was a hog situation that had happened. But you know, once again, that firearm was right where it always is. We're right where I can just grab it. Another thing is, I sleep very, very light. Now I can sleep good, but I can also wake up to a pin drop. And when I'm sleeping, I'm still listening. So those are the things that I do, is I don't totally shut myself off when I'm out here, you know. And for anybody new that wants to get into backpacking, let's say you go out on your first trip, let's say it's a solo trip, or maybe you're with one other person, and you know, you're anxious about being in the middle of the woods in the dark and having to go to sleep in the dark. Don't take any sleeping pills or anything like that. You know, don't take any sleeping aids that's going to help you knock out, because then what happens is you're not going to be able to wake up when you hear those little sounds. You know, a branch breaking on the ground from, you know, something crunching down on it. You know, you're not going to wake up to those things, and it's important to always be alert. Even when you're sleeping, be alert. So guys, don't let all the scary stuff deter you from getting out and enjoying the woods and having a good time. These situations that happen are extremely rare, but you know, always go out with common sense. Let people know where you're going, where you're going to be, how long you're going to be there for, and if you're not back by a certain time, what they should be doing. But yeah, always keep safety in mind, because at the end of the day, you are out in the woods. It's unregulated, really. I mean, I'm sitting here and there could be somebody or something right off behind me, you know, and I don't know that. So you know, just use common sense, always protect yourself, do what you got to do. But yeah, so I just wanted to make that video just to bring some sort of awareness to everything, just because I know like backpacking and camping and hiking and stuff, like it looks fun, and it is fun, but there's also some safety stuff that many people may not discuss in their videos, you know, things that they do before they go to bed or whatever, that they don't discuss or share with the viewers. And all you get to see is all the fun, good stuff, but there's also another side of things to where you still got to be careful out here. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that you guys found the video helpful, and if you did, do me a favor, as always, hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Share this video with somebody, and until next time, I'll see you guys on the trail with me. Peace.